Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we are on Love 99.5 FM. We are on myjoyonline.com. The news is also available in all 16 regions. We are on Bedouin FM in Bumkurugu, Amenuveve FM in Apawu, and Radio Max in Takrady. We're live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. You're on myjoyonline.com. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrol Sol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Sol is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDP pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with a level indicator, and where Duraplus goes, water always flows. This afternoon, starting June 1, financial burden of renal patients in Ghana will be lessened as the National Health Insurance Authority rolls out support, but it will only last for 6 months.
The money is available. It's just a mechanism. So, like I said, we're looking at 1st June.
However, there is confusion about the support provided by the Sky Group and other philanthropists for dialysis treatment, as president of the kidney patients demand a proper account of the funds from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
The philanthropist is paying 380 for them, paying for all the sessions.
We've been paying. Every session when we pay 380, Kolebu need to come clear on this one. If the money still have been paying from that October that we went, they should refund our money back to us.
And as we roll out dialysis crisis a year on, we focus on the level of risk for you.
As a young man, you keep taking those aphrodisiacs. Go sleep with those 10, 20 women. Now, when your kidney functions run down, they will leave you and go to somebody who probably has, well-functioning kidneys.
Also this afternoon, tempers high as members of the Locked-Up Investment Holders Forum clash with the Deputy Finance Minister as they resume their picketing after a brief break.
What kind of impedance in this?
Send him to your office and talk to him. Send him to your office and talk to him. It's an insult for him to talk to you. Outside here. Go to the office and talk to him. You don't have any.
We're live on the ground. We have sports.
The journey to the Under-17 World Cup kicks off this afternoon as Ghana's Black Starlets face Ivory Coast in the Waffle Zone B Championship.
And we go back 45 years into time. May 15, 1979, former President J.J. Rawlings attempted for the first time to remove the military government of Frederick William Kwesi Akufo.
When Achampong was overthrown, we were not happy in 5 years. But Achampong was very popular amongst us. So by plotting to get rid of Akufo, we thought we were trying to restore Achampong in some way.
We'll get to hear from a former member of the PNDC, Sergeant Aloga Akatapori, about how seminal this period was in the history of the country. You want to stay for that and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Yes. Many thanks for staying with us. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. And this afternoon, the policy agreement to help ease the financial burden on end-stage kidney patients by the National Health Insurance Authority will start on June 1. But this, however, will only last for 6 months. The decision is currently awaiting approval from the board of the NHIA, which will see the scheme absorb 2 out of 8 dialysis sessions of the kidney treatment costs. Chief Executive of the authority, Dr. Da Costa Boaje, told the host of the Super Morning Show, despite concerns on sustainability, the scheme will strive to provide support for kidney patients.
In fact, the money is available. It's just a mechanism. So, like I said, we're looking at 1st June.
Now, there have been some talk around the ability of the NHIS to actually sustain this support.
If you look at the trajectory, the insurance scheme has actually improved in terms of claims payment.
Except that this, as you've projected, will be for about 6 months. So I'm wondering, after the 6 months, what happens?
Who knows? By that time, the report would have been ready. And it will not be the first time we go to Parliament to seek approval on our budget. But again, we don't just take decisions. We take decisions based on materials. So unless they finish the work, which is very comprehensive, I will not be able to commit to future plans, but I will be able to commit to what has been approved to me by Parliament.
You basically provide primary health care.
Yeah.
This is not primary health care, yet you are taking on board. There's no guarantee you can give the people of this country that you will do this sustainably.
And there is no guarantee also that we will not be able to do it because we do not have the actuarial figures to prove that. So this is why I'm saying that I think that I believe that it's a step in the right direction, because at the end of the day, we do have corporate social responsibility budget. So if we are taking $2 million from our corporate social responsibility budget to support dialysis patients, I think it's in order.
That's the Chief Executive of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Da Costa Boaje, there, answering critical questions on the Super Morning Show. Now the kidney patients are demanding clarity on the donation for dialysis provided by companies like the Sky Group and other organizations. Chief Executive of the NHIA, Dr. Da Costa Boaje, says the donation is meant to pay for the 380 cedis per session charged for dialysis.
What you have to know is that a philanthropist is paying 380 for them. It's not only that, they're paying for all the sessions, the 380. So we are just coming in just to support them. And like I said, what is on our budget is for the needy. You see, we're just trying to come in with an intervention that will obviously, as we say, half a loaf is better than none. That's what we can afford for now.
But the president of the Kidney Patients Association, Kojo Bafu-Ahinkra, told my colleague Elton John Brobe on the polls that they've been paying on their own and they are demanding full accountability from the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital.
All that we heard, that they made the donations, but as to where the money is, whether it to be given to us or not to be given to us, we don't know.
So, the donation that came through, you are not benefiting from it in any way?
We've not. When we go, it
hasn't affected how much you pay?
Yes. When we go, we pay 380. When the place was closed down last year, around this time, it was May 21st that it was closed. And we went back, I think, around October. We've been paying. Every session, we pay 380.
But what understanding did you get? That the donation was for the patients or for the hospital?
Most of the time we hear, Joy, you should have a clips of those things. A Zoom Lion. I learned it's for the patients. That is what I heard. I was not the one that presented it, but I heard it on Joy. That is for the patient. I think it was around this time when the crisis was up, when the place was closed down. He also brought it to help patients. We never saw daylight of it. There was no any day. So what Wedi Nyame came to pay, maybe we are trying to subsidize it when you can maybe pay 100 or pay 200. We never had anything of that sort, as we sit.
And have you probed to understand what is going on?
Oh, nothing really is coming out. When you ask, nothing really is coming out. So I think Korle Bu need to come clear on this one. If the money still have been paying from that October that we went, they should refund our money back to us. For the philanthropist, he's paying for us. But since from October
up to now,
you've
been paying from your own pocket.
We've been paying. Yes.
I'll take you now to the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital, and there's an appeal for support to begin life-saving medication for children requiring dialysis treatment. Already, kidney transplant is available on a limited scale nationwide as children benefit from peritoneal dialysis for acute kidney injury without any rescue intervention for those with end-stage renal failure. My colleague Nanabwachi Dankwa has more in the following report.
The biggest challenge facing dialysis services in Ghana is affordability. The Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital, realizing the gravity of the situation, is ready to begin the treatment of dialysis for children. Professor Ochre Adeymensa is the CEO of the hospital.
I told you that we had 1.5 dialysis machines at a time. Today we have 4 dialysis machines. The hospital itself, using its IGF, has procured 3 brand new dialysis machines. We are waiting for them. There's a company that is giving us 2 brand new dialysis machines. We are also waiting. We are hoping that by the end of this month, we would have about 12 dialysis machines running. One major thing we are looking at is dialysis for children. As it is, it appears that dialysis for children does not exist. Usually you do not have dialysis going on for children. And so it's one area we are looking at to give children the opportunity to live.
Professor Ochre Adeymensa says the hospital is seeking support from stakeholders to purchase machines for such treatments.
When the issues of dialysis came up and Korle Bu was in the news in respect of price changes and all that, I remember in our discussion, if I remember correctly, that I made the point that we buy from the same source, the same supplier, consumables and all that. And so there's a need for us to also push our prices up. But Korle Bu took that step. And subsequently, I think that the Fees and Charges Committee of Parliament have sat and reviewed the fees. But Korle Bu are lucky to have, this is the first care group, subsidizing the payment for dialysis for patients. We don't have that. But it is understandable to an extent because about 80% of the dialysis cases go to Kolebu. And in large part was because we didn't have a lot of dialysis machines here at our end. I'm sure that when we get to 12, we are in talks with philanthropists, non-governmental organizations, corporate societies to come in and help.
That's Nana Boachi Dankwa-Yadom's report there. But why are kidney cases on the increase, though? Senior specialist and consultant nephrologist at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, Dr. Elliot Cranton-Tano, explains.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. And good morning to your viewers and listeners. It is very important that we realize now that what is killing us nowadays are not the infections anymore. Gone are the days where we used to worry so much about infections, TB, HIV, and so malaria, and so on and so forth. But in this dispensation, now the so-called non-communicable diseases are the major killers. Now, what is driving this canker of chronic kidney disease? The major drivers are diabetes and hypertension. Now, unfortunately, these non-communicable diseases are also on the rise. So in Ghana, for instance, you take people above 18 years, about 1 out of 4. In fact, in a study that we did even in Ashanti region, it was 1 out of 3 people that you see above 18 have hypertension.
Well, he has an advice for you as well.
Now, the content of the food, salt is always a problem. Ghanaians like so much salt. A lot of salt has been associated clearly with hypertension. So let's cut down our salt. Let's not wait to get hypertension first before we cut down our salt. And that is actually also very important. You might be too busy, not have time to exercise and all, but use your daily activities as an exercise. The aphrodisiacs, young men, and that's my worrying bit. People don't even know what they are taking, and they are just taking it because it has some potent something that it will give to you. And what I say is that as a young man, you keep taking those aphrodisiacs. Go sleep with those 10, 20 women. Now, when your kidney functions run down, they will leave you and go to somebody who probably has, well-functioning kidneys, okay? And probably you'll be dead and gone. So please don't be in an aim or don't aim to satisfy so many women for whatever you want to get out of it and lose your life in the short run.
That's senior specialist and consultant nephrologist at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, Dr. Elliot Cranton-Tano. It's time for the first episode of A Dialysis Crisis a Year On. Features editor Richard Kojunyako tells a story of disappointment, anger and betrayal.
Last year, 15-year-old Priscilla Sante's young life was cut short. Her dream of becoming a nurse unfulfilled, leaving a void in the hearts of many. Her mother's voice joined the choruses across the country in calling on government to reduce the cost of dialysis in order for many to live. Priscilla was not the last to die. Many have died, and countless numbers are in the queue waiting to die because they can't afford to pay the cost of dialysis. 33-year-old Salas Mensah teary after hearing the announcement of the increase.
$490 for a day, so in that week when it comes to it, costs you about 1,000.
He briskly calculates the amount of money he would now have to pay in order to live.
As for me, I don't have anybody. A guy saw me in Kumasi and then he told me to help me. If the price go high like this, I'm crying for the guy now.
It has been a very hard because of the money aspect of it.
Gabriel Mensah retired from the GES last year. Shortly after his retirement, he was diagnosed of the diseases. The weight of this announcement is evident in his voice.
Serious. We are going to die. We are going to die.
Patients here are angered by this announcement. Their anger is sandwiched with the never-ending plea to government to reconsider its decision. For 37-year-old Jackson, government can't simply send them to their early grave. Something urgent must be done.
So sometimes you think that, Charlie, if you die, cry, it will be okay. so that your burden on the family and the friends will be over, and they use the money to do other things.
For these cocktail of stories told differently by different patients at the dialysis unit of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital revealed despair, disappointment, anger and betrayal by government.
It's kind of getting us more devastated.
That's our dialysis crisis a year on, the very first episode, available on all our social media platforms, also on Joy News. Now, members of the Locked Up Investment Holders Forum have given government until next week, Wednesday, to address their concerns, or they will picket the Finance Ministry again. The members picketed the ministry earlier today to demand the ministry revokes the licenses of the financial institutions that have failed to pay their deposited funds.
That you cannot send him to your office to attend to you? What kind of life is this? What kind of impedance in this?
So
should send him to your office, my friend.
Yes.
Send him to your office and talk to him. Send him to your office and talk to him. It's an insult for him to talk to you. Outside here.
Go to the office
and talk to him. You don't have any respect for your father. There are several correspondences to this. What kind of impedance in this? What kind of impedance in this? We have worked for so many years to bring you what you are. Everything we have. What work have you done? And we have decided to invest it.
So that's the confusion that ensued at the Finance Ministry when the members picketed the Finance Ministry. That clash between themselves and the Deputy Finance Minister. And Kenneth JC is there for us, joins us on the line. So Kenneth, how exactly was that resolved?
Yes. So the group started a public protest on the 27th of March 2024 with a march to the Bank of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, to put pressure on the two institutions to work to get back their locked up funds. And they were not given any audit when they went to the Ministry of Finance. So today they began their march from NGK Finance, which is one of the institutions that has their locked up funds. They got to the Finance Ministry. 5 minutes after they got here, the Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. Stephen Amwa, also arrived. Now, when he arrived, they tried to approach him and speak to him, but he said no, he's not going to speak to them. He eventually called their lead convener, Dr. Entry, to speak to him privately. When he spoke to them, Dr. Entry came back and told us that the Deputy Finance Minister has assured him of trying to all the documents to assess them and see the way forward. And they say if nothing is done until next week, Wednesday, they're going to continue to picket every other Wednesday till November.
I have briefed him. He now understands the issues. He will go and find the letter. The petition, I've told him the petition was delivered by me, myself, to the office of the minister, so it cannot get missing anywhere. Plus the reminder. So he's going to take it up and have a discussion with the minister and give me or give us their response as soon as practicable. I've told him we are coming here every Wednesday, and therefore if we get a response and the response is such that we don't have to come, we won't come. If the response is not what will let us not come here, we will come. So for today, I think the sun is too hot. We are suffering. We have got here our message across. Now, if he didn't know, he has known.
That's Dr. Edu Anane Entry. They're interacting with journalists after that brief scuffle between themselves and the Deputy Finance Minister. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. And in the last few minutes, the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboadame, has come to the defense of Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono, who's been facing intense backlash from some activists and the NDC for reconstituting the panel of judges, hearing an appeal filed by former Kokobot CEO, Dr. Stephen Opuni. Dr. Opuni is appealing the decision of the Court of Appeal, affirming the decision of the High Court not to restart his trial, in which he is accused of causing financial loss to the state. Member of our Legal Affairs Desk, Kweku Santi, joins me in studio with more on this raging controversy. So, Kweku, we'll get into the AG statement shortly, but first, what is the history of this case, you'd say?
Dr. Opuni is facing trial, like you said, for causing financial loss to the state. And the judge hearing the case substantively was Justice Honyenuga. He retired, and the the Chief Justice appointed a new judge to take over the case. The judge then decided to hear the case afresh, and that case was challenged by the Attorney General of the Court of Appeal. The court overturned the decision of the High Court. Justice Opuni is seeking to overturn that Court of Appeal judgment in the Supreme Court. The initial panel of judges hearing the case was Justice Mariam Owusu presiding, Justice Yao Dakwasari, Justice Jody Kulendi, Justice George Kumsi, and Justice Henry Kofi. They heard the case the first time and set the date for judgment. When the parties went to court, the panel had been changed, and the panel now comprised of Chief Justice Gertrude Sakitokono, who was now presiding, Mariam Owusu, Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Justice Yao Dakwasari, and Justice Enes Gayewu. These people like Professor Kuku Asari, Yunus Afuseni have expressed concern, saying that changing judges midstream while the case is ongoing is dangerous.
And the Attorney General says these criticisms are unfounded.
Yes, according to a lengthy statement put out by the Attorney General, he does not believe that any wrong has been occasioned. He says that the Chief Justice is constitutionally mandated to empanel the court, and she can do so if she deems it fit.
That's quick question to a member of our legal affairs desk, taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and Kumasi, on Love 99.5 FM, made possible by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and Duraplus Ghana Limited, where Duraplus goes, water flows. Return from the break with sport and go back 45 years into time, where former President J.J. Rawlings attempted for the first time to remove the military government of Frederick William Akwesi Akufo.
When Achampong was overthrown, we were not happy in Fabian. But Achampong was very popular amongst us. So by plotting to get rid of Akufo, we thought we were trying to restore Achampong in some way.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
It's the 3i Africa Summit, where innovation, impact, and investment converge, where technology drives transformation. From the 13th to the 15th of May 2024, heads of state, central bank governors, thought leaders, innovators, investors, academics, and entrepreneurs will converge to unleash Africa's full potential. Discover the power of digital assets, explore the state of digital growth in Africa, and unveil lessons from Africa's central bank digital currency experiments. Engage in discussions on diversity in the creative arts and tech, financing Africa's SMEs and bridging the digital gender gap. Network with investors, pitch your ideas, and access funding at the 3i Africa Deal Room and Pitchfest. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center as we ignite a fintech revolution for Africa's financial future. Visit 3iafrica.com to register now.
December is just around the corner and our nation stands at a crossroads. Will we continue down the same path or will we forge a new one together? The choice is ours, but we need every voice to be heard. That is why the New Force is investing time and resources to educate and encourage everyone about the voters' ID card registration. To all of you out there unsure if your vote matters, your voice matters. Your vote is your power and your opportunity to shape the future of our motherland. Don't let others decide for you. Don't stay silent. Get up, get out there, and get your voter's ID card today. Make sure you are ready to make a difference when the time comes. Don't delay. Act now. From the 7th to the 27th of May, and on the 30th of May, you can replace all missing ID cards. Every vote counts. Your vote, your destiny. A message from Nana Kwame Bediako and the New Force.
There is time for everything, including exclusive breastfeeding by mothers, which starts within the first 30 minutes baby is born till the time the child is 6 months old. Grandma,
Grandpa,
husbands.
Let's all come on board Good Life and insist that our child takes only breast milk for the first 6 months. No food, no water, no gripe water.
Breast milk has all the nutrients the child needs to grow strong and healthy. So I ask,
How is your good life? Remember that exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months is best for baby, and good growth starts with right nutrition at birth. Good life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. Good life from Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID.
This is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Time for sports. We're back.
Yes, Emefa. So in a few hours, Ghana's Black Starlets will face Ivory Coast in the Waffle Zone B Championship as they eye qualification for the next Under-17 World Cup. The team missed the last 2 editions of the youth tournament, but there's an opportunity to change the narrative with a good start this afternoon. Head coach Lai Kingston is confident of getting a positive outcome.
We had opportunity to see at least 2 of their current games, against Argentina and against France, but we have a game plan towards the approach. When we allow them to play, they can pass the ball. Likewise us, they can pass the ball. So we want to close them down as quick as we can, get the ball and then let them find it. The boys are looking very sharp. They're responding to instructions very well. You know, we have our game plan, and you can see that our game plan is working for us as a technical team. Whatever we wanted to achieve, we've achieved it. We starting the game well, and then executing the game plan well.
Yep, the match comes off at the University of Ghana Stadium at 4 p.m.
We're live there. Well, now it's time for fact-checking, and today we are focusing on some of the claims made by President Akufo-Addo at the opening of the 3i Africa Summit. Head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, joins me in studio on the claims and the verdicts. Raymond, let's start with a claim on the value of mobile money transactions.
And transactions surpassing 1 trillion cedis.
The verdict?
Now, the claim that mobile money transactions have surpassed 1 trillion is true. According to data from the Bank of Ghana's Summary of Economic and Financial Data Report, the value of transactions at the end of 2023 was some 1.9 trillion.
Well, the president's claim that some 44 million mobile money accounts were registered by the end of 2023. Let's listen.
With some 44 million accounts registered by the end of 2023.
Verdict?
Now, the claim that 44 million mobile money accounts were registered by the end of 2023 is false. The president's claim is contradicted by data from the regulator. Indeed, the Bank of Ghana's March 2024 Summary of Economic and Financial Data Report states that the total number of registered mobile money accounts is 65.6 million and not 44 million as quoted by the president.
And that's Raymond Akwa with fact-checking. Where were you in 1979? Raymond, I'm asking you. Okay, you don't remember. So, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings made headlines as he led his first uprising in an attempt to overthrow the military government led by General Frederick William Kwesi Akufo. The coup ultimately failed, leading to Rawlings' imprisonment, public court-martial, and a death sentence. A former member of the PNDC, Sergeant Alolga Akatapori, has been explaining to Raymond Akwa in a yet-to-be-aired interview how this event marked a pivotal moment in Ghana's history.
People thought that was what we were planning. And then we realized that no, it wasn't. You see, it was somebody else had also done something, and it turned out to be Rawlings' one. So it had nothing to do with June 4th. So that plot was still going on. You see, the June 4th plot was still going on. What 15th May did was to validate our idea of trying to do something. And for 5BN, if I must tell you this, is that when Achampong was overthrown, we were not happy in 5BN. But Achampong was very popular amongst us. So by plotting to get rid of Akufo, we thought we were trying to restore Achampong in some way.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is the truth of the matter. You can ask the core 5BN people, they'll tell you.
Like who specifically?
Oh, you know, Tasiri is not well known. Mark Atinga, I think it's passed on. Most of the people have passed on. Banchamfo, you can ask Banchamfo. Okay, yeah, Banchamfo is still around, and the others are abroad. Skido and others, they are all abroad now in America.
You can catch the full interview at 6 p.m. on the Joy News channel. Raymond Akwa on Upfront. Now, 1-year-old Ace Liam has broken a 21-year-old Guinness World Record in painting. He's now the youngest in the world to do so. Ace is gifted in drawing as well. My colleague Jacqueline Asmayewa reports.
At just 6 months old, Ace Liam's mother, Chantel Egan, discovered her son's extraordinary talent. A spark ignited within her to share his gift with the world.
From 6 months up until now. 6 months old. That was when he started painting. Bigger works are when he was younger. The more he grows, I think I'm able to accommodate him on a smaller canvas. But when he was younger, it's more like body movements and spreading the paint. So the canvas size are as big as the floor. Exactly.
Driven by this passion, she embarked on a daring mission to secure a Guinness World Record for the youngest male artist for her son. It's a record that hasn't been broken in 21 years. With unwavering determination, Liam took on the challenge. His canvas painting, an exhibition in Accra.
And people are saying they are ace in their thing. Ace by our baby.
Well, he's aced. You know, so a lot of people have been bringing in their congratulation messages. People are surprised that a 1-year-old, and also some comments have been sharing the fact that why Efua Santua, Shefaila, and all those people who have done it in the past, why they haven't been able to ace it like how Ace aced it, you know?
There's something in the name, isn't
yeah, you know, right?
Well, are there other things people are talking
about? Yeah, so, you know, Sarkodie's brag, when he released the Friday, is causing so much controversies on social media. Most of the Ghanaian artists are trying to reply. You know, he actually does like Nigerians, so they're trying to reply the Nigerians on his behalf and all that
And
stuff.
Celestine Donko, have we heard from her yet on all the issues that has come up?
Well, she's been talking, but then I think we'll talk about it.
Okay. Well, that's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. We have Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otebel, the principle of gathering, episode 3. I am Emefa Apawu. Have a good afternoon.